Councillor Milani's up next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, and thank you for everyone who's stuck it out till the end here, or almost at the end anyhow. Affordable rentals. That's why we're all here today, because without this component, this application would have never made it this far. Do we need affordable rentals? Of course we do, but that's just one part of this proposal, and we need to look at the bigger picture holistically. I can speak from personal experience, as Councillor Dilworth did. I lived in the Woodland Park townhouses in the early 2000s for a couple of years with my wife and at the time 2 kids, so a family of 4 or 5 now. In the townhouse next to us was a family of 6, 2 adults with 4 kids. And a caller mentioned the community currently there, and I know firsthand what they mean because we're still in touch with that family. We've kept in contact. It was a really great place to live. But back to the scenario with us, a family of 4 at the time, and the family next door at 6. So with that, there's an average of 5 per townhome in our 2 townhomes. So that's potentially 1,600 people just for the townhomes, the affordable ones, the 325, based on that math. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but from what I saw, there were a lot of kids living in those townhomes. It was a very, very busy area. So I'm thinking that the population for at least the affordable rental area will be far greater than what's been calculated. I've read through a ton of public input to this application, and there are many area residents that are opposed for a multitude of reasons. A few of the big ones are traffic concerns and how the current infrastructure couldn't handle such an increase in density. The location is not transit friendly, the scale of the build and the heights up to 15 stories, the 17-year roughly build out, environmental concerns with the new road, and with the build, with such a large plan in general, the impacts on surrounding neighborhoods and amenities, the fact that this application contradicts the current OCP vision for the area, which never envisioned this kind of growth, and it's been brought up by various callers and some of my council colleagues tonight. If you look at the OCP, the policies, 15.1 for College Park, Harbour Heights, and Glen Eyre. It says, number 1, the existing land use and character of the Glen Eyre, College Park, and Harbour Heights neighborhoods shall generally be retained. Generally be retained. So 10 times the growth? I don't know. If you look at Council's strategic plan under community evolution, it says, ensure future community growth is carefully considered and strategically managed, consistent with the targets approved in our official community plan. Another huge issue for me is that there are 3 opportunities for public input on major applications. If you look at the application flowchart, there's an option for a town hall meeting after the formal application intake. There's an option for a public information meeting after the first submission review summary letter. And that brings us to where we are now, the public hearing before the 3rd reading. However, we didn't do those other 2 options. And this is a massive application. Knowing that we've missed those important opportunities to connect with this neighborhood, and knowing that this neighborhood is currently part of the OCP review and update process, we should be asking ourselves, is this the appropriate time to approve such a project? Sure, there's good stuff. Many of the items have been touched on. The affordable housing component in partnership with BZ Housing, along with 100 new daycare spaces, make it very tempting to say yes right away. Not to mention a grocer in the neighborhood, that would be awesome. And I've lived in Moody Center for over 20 years, and we're still waiting for a grocer in our neighborhood. So I get the appeal of that. A transportation solution to get cars in and out of the area has been put forward, along with a multi-use path for active transportation users. I'm huge on active transportation, being the chair of the transportation committee. Although that new proposed route, it involves redirecting a creek. Now I find that greatly ironic, Since council was not too stoked on the idea of culverting ditches on residential lots, yet there doesn't appear to be much concern for moving a creek, which staff confirmed provides fish habitat. Bizarre. I really wish that this proposal was closer to a SkyTrain station, since we're going from 200 to 2,000 units. That would make sense. If you think about this, you know, the 2,000 units is more than Newport Village and Suterbrook combined. That's 1860. Let that sink in. More than Newport Village and Suterbrook combined. It's mind-blowing. There's currently 600 people residing in those 200 affordable units that are currently on site. So if we use that math, that 3 per unit math, that could potentially house 6,000 people with 2,000 units. That's a lot higher than we've been hearing, and it is possible. We need to think about that. At least Newport and Suterbrook have a SkyTrain station within easy walking distance, so it's good for them. Not so good for this location. Our city staff stated earlier that current regulations would allow for approximately 600 townhouses. And that's what I keep hearing from residents that they want, are townhouses, and the traditional type of townhouses. And 600 townhouses for that neighborhood would be a far cry from the 2,000 plus units being proposed. With regards to the community amenity contributions, it's at council's discretion if they wish, to waive part or all of such fees. That's at council's discretion. Now, I don't feel the city is in any place financially to offer a reduction to the CACs in this case. The money is direly needed to help expand amenities. Our current facilities are already over capacity. Where are these? I'll just tone it down to 4,000 residents of Woodland Park 2.0. Where are they supposed to recreate indoors when the weather gets bad? Sure, it's nice right now, but most of the year it's not. Are they supposed to go to West Hill? There's no programming there. I mean, the outdoor pool is great. Are they supposed to go to Cllr Center? Or as it's embarrassingly known in the Moody Center Hood where I reside, as TARP Center? Am I 100% opposed to this proposal? No, definitely. There are some positive attributes, no question about it. But we've had zero city-led consultation with the affected neighborhood. And for an application of this magnitude, that is unacceptable and, quite frankly, embarrassing. I ran on putting residents first, and I'm not seeing that here. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a vote on this, please. Vote now. Motion carries. Councillor Milani opposed.